What's going on, guys? JD at JD's Custom Buggies. So I know most of us have been cooped up in the homes. I've been fortunate enough that I've been able to make it out to the shop, and I really haven't been, although being cooped up might be a nice change. But strictly out of boredom, there's been something I've been wishing that I hadn't gotten rid of since the old days of racing, and, well, maybe two things. One was my 24-foot enclosed trailer, race trailer, and the other one was the race scales that I had. So, trailer's been replaced, but the scales, I just, every time I thought about it, either I didn't want to part with the money at that particular time or whatnot, but, I don't know, sitting out of boredom, I figured maybe I'd find a nice used set on eBay or something like that, and I looked around and really wasn't finding anything. I was hoping the prices had come down from 20 years ago when a good set of scales cost about $1,200, and then if you bought a case for it and this and that and the other thing, you can invest easily $1,500 to $1,800 for a set of race scales. But I looked on both Amazon and eBay when I didn't see anything used, and found these for basically the same price on both, and decided that, yeah, why not? Maybe it's time to pull the trigger just out of pure boredom, and it might come in handy as far as race season goes, and fulfill a lot of curiosities about how much these things really weigh. So what I did was pull the trigger on some Proform wireless scale set, and they were rated at 7,000 pounds. And what's kind of cool about them is back in the old days is that you used to have a wire that went from the readout computer to each and every pad, and this one is completely wireless, so that kind of makes it really cool. So we figured we'd have some fun. We weigh a buggy or two. This is the number 13. It's a Trailmaster. I mean, it's been lightened up a little bit maybe because the seat's out of it and some other things, but I figured we'd scale them and see what we got. So this should be kind of fun. So here's our that's our wireless readout right there. So let's give it a shot and see what we got. Trying to do this gently. Okay, so what we've got is this. Trying to make out, this is the first time I've looked at this readout, so I'm just trying to make heads or tails of it. Kind of cool. I've got corner weights, got corner weight percentages. Alright, so the total weight of this buggy here, and I don't recall what a stock Trailmaster is, but I'm trying to get that so you guys can see what our display is reading out, and I'll read it to you. So we have a total of 519 pounds, and what it looks like is, I'm trying to determine what is right and left on this readout, so I'm gonna assume that we're 116 pounds in the front corner, left front corner. Right front corner is 114, and the oh, it's marked right there. All right, front left corner is 116 pounds at 22.3% corner weight. The right front is 114 pounds at 21.9. Right left, or the rear left, sorry, is 150 pounds. The rear right is 140 pounds, and we have 28.9 on the left and 26.9 on the right rear as far as percentage. Really not looking at the percentages. If this was a stock car, I would, because you work corner to corner on a stock car. This, I'm just trying to get the overall weight in front to rear, and actually, if I had my two rear weights percentages up, my two front weight percentages up, it pretty much total my front to rear. So at 28.8, 26.9 in the rear, we're looking at, math on the fly, roughly 53%. I'd have to do the math to see if they all add up to 100, but it should. 28.8 and 26.9. You got 50, 54, 55.7. 55.7 in the rear. Let's set up our front to see if it actually works out. 22% and 22.3. So that's 44.3. So yeah, it actually does. So it's a little rear heavy. Obviously, we have 54%, but it's not bad because the motor's sitting back there. Now with the driver, the weight's going to completely change. So what we'd want to do is have Kayla sitting there as we're weighing it and get an idea of what the see where the weight's at. So let's do another one. I'm thinking we'll push. I have a stock Talon over there. That's going to be the number 313 of a guy named Scott, and then I've got the wife's Crossfire over there. So maybe we'll just we'll roll one up one at a time, just to give it a comparison. So our first one's at I'm not going to remember these, but the first one is at 520, 519, 520. It's bopping back and forth a little bit, so it's probably 520 if it's flexing back and forth between 19 and 20. All right, let's get our next one. All right, so we're gonna roll this first gen Carter Talon up there. Basically, it's that motor work done, but other than that, stock wheels, stock tires, stock chassis, pretty much as it came out of the box. So, very gently roll this up on the scales. What we'll probably do is make a runway and on some wood so they're not bouncing the scales around. Alright, well, this thing is tipping the scales at basically 502 pounds. So right off the bat, Trailmaster's got about 18 pounds on it, which makes sense. It does have, it's got longer arms on it, that we installed, the tires. It's more of a modified buggy than this one is, but this is bone stock at right at 502 pounds. It does have fuel oil in it, so it is wet. And as far as the, okay, so the front right, we're at 99 pounds. Kind of odd because the left front outweighs it by 30 pounds. So, and I did tear this thing, make sure it was all at zeros before I rolled it up. Right left is 122 and right rear is 152. So it's got some corner deal going on, which is, if it was a stock car, it might look more like it. So front to rear percentage wise, we're looking at 54.6 in the rear and looking like 45.4 in the front. So at 502 pounds is what we got here. So let's grab the number 52 and now that buggy's completely modified. It used to be a Crossfire. It's been carved down to a single seater. So aluminum wheels all the way around. So this should be interesting to see what we got going on there. So let's wheel that one up here. Alright, 52 is on the scale. I'd be real curious to know what a stock Crossfire weighs, because I'm pretty confident that this one has got to be lighter than a stocker. So this one is at the scale at 500 and looks like 513 pounds. Alright, and front to rear percentage wise, let's see, 22.7 and 35.9. So we've got a rear percentage of looks like 58.6 in the rear and it's bouncing back and forth a little bit. 15, 25, 40, 41.3, 41.4, 41.4 in the front. So this one, it's got a very light end. Now that might actually come into handy because most buggies are underpowered on most jumps or whatnot. That you know, they tend to all nosedive a bit. So that might actually help this one out. But 513 pound total. Not bad for, it is a physically bigger buggy than both the Carter and the Trailmaster lengthwise. There, you know, it's just it has a longer wheelbase, so that should be interesting. But anyway, that's cool. It gives me something to play around with, and this kind of stuff interests me. It'll especially come in handy with builds that, you know, I can get to a rolling chassis, whether I'm starting off with a stock machine that I want to modify, or you know, and kind of get a before and after weight, give me a basis for it, or just even if it's a rolling chassis, I can weigh it on, you know, on the fly in the middle of the build to see, you know, might help me figure out how to do things stronger and lighter. So that's it for now. But it's kind of a cool toy. I don't recommend, you know, that everybody needs to go out and get scales. But this is something that I've been wanting to do for a couple of years. So I'm gonna go ahead and pack up the new toy. It comes in an awesome case. I'll show you the case real quick. Little rollaway carry case, which is totally cool. Everything goes in there and fits in there really nice with the instructions, which I really should be reading anyway. So I'm gonna go ahead and put this thing back in its home. And there's the readout of the 52 right there. So anyway, that's my new toy. Something else to play with. I might even attempt to, you know, I'd like to get Lucifer on these scales. I would like to get the Razor on these scales. They're rated for 7,000 pounds, so they should be fine with anything I put on there. Even the 800, I would like to know what I know that thing's a beast and it's heavy, but it'd be interesting to know how much heavier is the 800 than the Razor, or vice versa. So anyway, want to thank you guys for hanging out, and if you like what you're seeing, you know, leave a comment. If you have any questions, leave a comment. I'll do my best to answer all questions, and you know, subscribe. We're gonna be giving away a complete CVT system for, you know, that'll work on one of these buggies, and that's gonna be coming up real soon. We're gonna give away some t-shirts at the same time, and that's gonna be coming up at least, I'd like to get that stuff out in the next 2 weeks. So, and I will give you, or, you know, keep you guys informed and updated on that, so you guys can you know, stay in touch with that and stay on top of it. All right, I appreciate it. Thanks a lot, guys. JD.